Hello everybody, welcome to another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the brand new album by Sylosis. This is the new Flash. So Sylosis had dropped an album back in 2023, Sign of Things to Come, which I feel like for their newer stuff, it's one of their better releases, one of their more concrete into the ideas of the bits of thrash they put in, as well as the metalcore blend. It's definitely got a very nice sound that I feel was quite good, and it barely made the cut for my top 25 albums that year, but it would have definitely been in the top 50 because it was just a very fun experience. But with the new Sylosis record, I didn't have my doubts, but I definitely was curious with the direction it was going for from what we saw of the album cover. The lead single, The New Flesh, was an interesting take on Sylosis. It had the energy of a good Sylosis track. I loved the components they bring into it. It does get rid of the thrash sound quite a bit more on this record. It kind of feels like it's more of the standard metalcore with elements of melodic here and there as well, taking into the factor. But honestly, The New Flesh was a pretty fun single. I like this one. Erased was one that I really enjoyed as well. I think this one is again another really solid song the band put out as a single, and I didn't really listen to any of the other singles because Lacerations, I just felt that came out way too close to the album, so I didn't really listen to this one. I just kind of gave it a whole new fresh listen with the album release. But the album does give you pretty much that kind of Sylosis charm in terms of metalcore, but as I said, the thrash component felt like it was very limited here. It wasn't quite going for the heavy sound that the previous album did in terms of blending it together. It's still heavy, but you do have some quite experimental stuff on here, like Everywhere at Once. I don't know if it's just me, but this feels like a 3 Days Grace song, straight from some of the vocals to the instrumentation. It's very tame and doesn't really have any metal to it. It's definitely more of a hard rock song that I can just imagine being on an early 3 Days Grace track, like 1X, something from that era. And it's very surprising that they would have something like this on here, because it definitely does kind of have a weird juxtaposition from kind of The New Flesh to this, to Circle of Swords, which is one of their more insanely heavier songs on here, which is also one of the better tracks. There is a lot of good stuff on here as well. All Glory No Valor, Sped from the Guillotine is another one I quite like, and I feel like you're not getting anything bad with this record, but you're hardly getting peak Sylosis at this point. You're just kind of getting the band doing a little bit of a twist and turn on the formula to keep it original and fresh, which is good. I don't think it's quite hitting Sylosis' peak sound we had in the past, but as a matter of fact, I feel like the last album they dropped was significantly stronger in direction, and I feel like we just had better tracks like Deadwood, Poison for the Lost, like stuff like that was a lot stronger than what we have here. But I'm not really complaining too much because the quality of Sylosis is still here, and the band manages to keep some elements fresh and exciting here. It was still a good listen, but there were some points where I found instrumentals weren't quite as solid. Josh Middleton's performance just didn't quite bring me in as much as previously, and I just felt like there was some intricate, weird decision making on this record that kind of doesn't make or break, but it does drag some the quality of some songs down, and I find some of them to be kind of weak on this one. Not a weak song, but the potential of it definitely gets narrowed down on here. I don't really have much else to say. I think The New Flesh is still another decently good Sylosis record. I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5, so I hope you enjoy. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next video.